언제나 어디서나 잊지 못할 오빠야. 언제나 그리웠던 오빠야. 은별에도 보고 싶던 오빠야. 우리 형제 찾기 위해 눈물 흘린 오빠야. 오빠야. 사랑하는 오빠야. 언제나 어디서나 잊지 못할 오빠야.
Lots of green beans.
These are a little too old, but we'll eat them anyway. My name is Chahi Stanfield, but I'm known as Chahi Lee in the Korean American community. In 1992, my nephew, who is a Methodist church minister, went to North Korea and found out that my father had passed away. I have a brother living in North Korea. His name is Ung-hee Lee. I believe he's in his 70s. Several years ago, I received a letter from him. Since then, I haven't heard from him, so I'm not sure whether he's still alive. I think it might be enough for lunch. These will be wasted though. They are already too old, so they'll be wasted. So. During the Japanese occupation of Korea, my family lived in Manchuria, China. When Korea became independent, we decided to return our hometown, which was Daegu City in southern part of Korea. My father and one of my brothers, Ung-hee, stayed there to wrap up the business. They were supposed to meet us in Daegu City in a week or so. I remember the moment when I saw my father last time. It looks like we had a whole part of the train bus, and my mother had a baby, who was my younger sister. So I remember my father was arranging the seats so that everybody could lie down or sit comfortably. And that was the last time I saw him.
Seoul was celebrating freedom after 40 years of Jap rule.
The Japanese had occupied the country for most of the 20th century. And then after the war, there had to be an agreement between the Americans and the Soviets about how the peninsula would be divided for the purpose of taking the Japanese surrender. So after the Japanese surrendered in August of 1945, the Americans had to decide where was their zone of occupation going to be. And that fell to two young military officers who basically took a National Geographic map and simply decided that the 38th parallel was going to be the division of the peninsula. But it did mean that Korea, including South Korea, was subjected to a hostile occupation, which seems strange given that Japan was the aggressor in the war.
The division of Korea and the Korean War polarized Korea into two hostile camps. Here was a people who had been, for over 1,000 years, a single people who all of a sudden were not only divided, but were in a sense indoctrinated into the ideologies of two very separate and different superpowers.
This picture might be about 78 years old or 70, almost 80 years old. So these are all the pictures. This is what Ung-hee sent through Sanhyap. And it says Sang-mun Lee, who is 73 years old now, but he still competes with the young people in the marathon race, covering the regular distance with a good result. So this is a good picture. And I like this picture. He looks like a Sanyap, doesn't he? Yeah, he looks a lot like a Sanyap.
Who got his ears?
His ears. That's U.S. Samchon got these big ears.
I never noticed them.
Okay, next time when you see him, pay attention to his ears. It's just like it's just big ears like this. We tease him a lot. Look at this one. This is Ung-hee and the Sanyap. And Ung-hee's son. He doesn't look like his father, but he looks like Sanyap, whom didn't even know who was existing. And then that's Grandpa, my mother. I didn't understand why they couldn't come to South, like millions of other North Koreans did. Later on, I found out that Ung-hee was taken to the North Korean army. My father couldn't leave him alone to join us in the South. So my father went to North Korea in 1950. But that was the year when the Korean War broke out. Three of my brothers fought for South Korea, while Ung-hee fought for North Korea. So the brothers fought against each other literally. And one of my brothers, Kuki, was killed.
U.S. Army, they usually come with the plane, B-29 plane, and they bombing in the city of the Pyongyang. And what they do is they bombing, cross the city, and like zigzag whole city, and the bomb, drop the bomb, and then they explode about 20 foot high, and kill all the people around, It was very terrible scenery. I saw a lot of, bodies when I was, young, all over.
How old were you then?
10.
this was an incredibly bloody war, and the great irony of it is that the peninsula was initially divided at the 38th parallel, and after 3 years of fighting, it was still divided roughly at the 38th parallel. And it was during the back and forth of that war, in which the North Koreans initially invaded the South and were quite successful against a weakened Southern force and weak American forces, who had pulled out of the peninsula between 1948 and 50. That's when the movement of people on the peninsula began. And already before then, wealthy individuals in the North, landowners, had already started to move south because of the fear of expropriation of property. But North Korea also housed, the northern part of the country that is, also housed a number of people with very strong religious convictions. So religion was also a factor in those that fled to the south.
Our forces in the west pulled back to the south.
In the fall and winter of 1950, with the UN retreat, families in many cases sent their stronger, younger, often male members south with full intention of joining them in a few weeks. And so they, in a sense, said goodbye to each other in 1950, in the winter of 1950, saying, "I'll see you in 3 weeks." And that 3 weeks or 2 weeks has become 60 years.
Come here. Come on. Come on, baby. 아이고. yeah. 아이고, heavy.
I'm too heavy.
You are heavy, yeah. Why you are so heavy? You eating good? They're gonna be pumpkin.
I don't see it.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Yeah, soon, when the flower die, and it's gonna come up, the pumpkin coming up from here. 145대 때 내려올 때, 이 미군들하고 같이 우리가 후퇴를 했죠. 근데 나는 먼저 떠났기 때문에 그 상황을 잘 모르지만, 나중에 들은 이 얘기로는, 이 할머니가 남자애들은 위험하니까 도망가고, 그냥 여자들은 누가 저기 아무리 공산당이라도 다치지 않는다. 그러니까 놔두고 그냥 남자들만 데리고 가라. 그래가지고 할머니는 집에 남아서 집 지키는 걸로 집 지키고 있겠다고 이렇게 얘기해서 그냥 남자들만 데리고 다 나온 거죠. 그때부터 이제 비극이 이제 시작된 거죠. 이산 가족이 그때부터 이제 일어나기 시작했죠. We're gonna have firework tonight here.
Okay.
Huh? So you're gonna watch the firework with me, okay?
Okay.
Too hot to be growing. This is my wife.
How are you? Nice to meet you.
That's Lori and Annie.
Oh, I'm hot. Hi, how are you?
I'm out.
They're helping out the pumpkin.
Yes, I heard you do a good job. Yeah?
She's nice guy.
Yes.
David, Louis, he helping me out the pumpkin. Yeah? 부모님들이 남아한 다음에 많이 울었어요. 밤마다. 근데 나는 그 당시 어렸으니까 그걸 느끼지를 못했는데, 내가 지금 애들 내 자녀들을 갖고 있어 보니까 그 얼마나 부모들이 고통스러웠겠냐, 그것을 내가 지금 와서 느끼는 거라고.
even at the height of the Vietnam War, North and South Vietnam exchanged postcards with family information on them. It was a very abbreviated way of communicating, but at least people were able to keep up with who died, who was married, who was born. But the border between North Korea and South Korea never allowed for that kind of exchange of information. So it's almost like dropping a curtain, say in Washington, D.C., across the Potomac River. And whoever happened to be in the west side would never hear of what happened to the people in the east, and vice versa.
우리 누나가 나보다 6년 위인데 내가 하이스쿨에 들어갔을 때 이 위에 하얀 셔츠를 우리 누나가 집에서 미싱으로 자기가 손수해서 나한테 입혀줬어. 우리 엄마보다도 우리 누나가 자기 동생이 하이스쿨 들어가서 너무 좋아가지고 자기가 손수 그 학교에서 배운 재봉을 만들어 가서 나한테 딱 입혀줬는데 딱 맞는 거야. 그게 지금도 그 생각이 우리 누나가 우리 엄마보다도 더 나한테 사랑을 베풀어 준 게 그게 지금 내 마음속에 꽉 차 있어. 그래서 누나가 더 보고 싶은 거야. 그래서 생각만 하면 눈물이 나고 그렇다. 너무 그리워요. 유일하게 지금 우리 누나가 약혼 때 찍은 사진인데 이게 뭐 오래쪽 사진이에요. 이렇게 예뻤던 얼굴이 지금 얼마나 변했을까. 죽었으면 어떻게 죽었을까. 만약에 그 사람들이 학살했다면은 그거 아마 알 수 없을 거로 본다고. 무덤도 없을 거고 그렇게 내가 생각이 돼요. My wife's parents, everything. 너 알 수 없어. 이북에서 혼자 왔거든. 자기 시스터하고 혼자 둘이 왔는데 My wife the same thing. 알 수가 없어. 부모들이 살아있는지 없는지 모른다.
이게 지금 고려대학이야. 기숙사. 내가 거기 여자 대학교. 내 기독병이 있었는데.
몇 년도인 거예요?
이게 그러니까 지금으로 40년 전일까요. 오라버니는 안록강 거기 건너가 있었고 우리 남동생은 중학교 때 붙들러 갔고
어디로?
군인으로 인민군들이 데려갔지. 그러니까 나는 밤새도록 어머니를 저게 이렇게 마음을 돋궈줬거든요. 같이 합시다. 같이가 사는 사람이라도 같이 떨어지지 말고 삽시다. 그렇게 해서 같이 가자 그랬는데 아침에 와서 그 얘기하니까 나는 못 가겠다. 어떻게 아들 둘 다 내놓고 나 혼자만 살겠다고 가느냐. 집에 들어온 청년들을 맞이할 생각하니까 못 가겠다 이렇게 되는 거지요.
네, 장로님은 이제 그 지금 찾으시는 누님을 다시 만날 수 있을 거라고 생각을 하세요?
생각을 합니다. 그이는 생각을 합니다. 죽지 않고 살았으면 생각하는데 저도 뭐 죽지 않고 살았으면 만나겠지 언젠가는. 그 누님도 제가 잘 알아요. 학교도 같이 다녔으니까. 우리 오빠하고 큰오빠하고 같은 반이고.
같은 고향에서 이남까지 이렇게 나왔기 때문에 그 서로의 그 고통과 그 슬픔은 같이 나누고 있고 그 어려운 가운데서 우리는 부모님이 다 나왔단 말이야. 근데 이 여자는 아버님하고 동생하고 손목 잡고 오다가 무지 고생을 많이 한 거예요. 얘기를 들으니까. 나보다도 훨씬 용감하다. 그런 생각이 들었어요. 그래서 내가 그런 점을 내가 포인트를 두고 그러면 결혼해 주겠느냐 그랬더니 해주겠다. 그래서 결혼하게 됐어요.
Hi, sweetie. Hi. Hi, Melissa. Hi, how are you?
It's nice to see you.
Good to see you too.
Welcome back.
Yeah, thank you.
How have you been?
Okay.
Are you
look
enjoying
good.
your retirement?
Yeah, I think so. 네, 안녕하세요. 오래간만입니다.
오래간만입니다.
When I moved to Albany Park, a group of elderly people organized to support me and my Korean collection. Most of this group were from North Korea, and I realized there are so many people around me who were suffering because they didn't know what happened to their family members in North Korea. I knew it was urgent, but I really didn't know how to start. Someone had to start it, but it was just too big issue for me. Oh, this is a encyclopedia. We are the only library which has this collection in the Midwest. Prime Minister Kim Il-sung had an idea about producing extensive encyclopedia about North Korea. When I was here, I did a publicity on this, and people just came in almost several a day. And some of them wanted to see the information about their hometown. Strange thing, strange about this one. While I was taking the applications from the divided families from all over the country, they remember their hometown addresses. It's usually long. It's not as simple as the addresses in South Korea. Those addresses are long, but they remember. Every one of them remembered their hometown address. And I don't know exactly the place where my father lived, but he lived in Kaesong. In the winter of 1999, I was helping someone holding a seminar where a young man named Mark Kirk and chair of foreign affairs were there. So at the conference, I learned that Mr. Kirk had been to North Korea twice. And I felt that, okay, he might be the right person to start with. So in March 2000, I went to see him with my family picture.
Jahi is a force of nature. She is an inspiration, an unbelievable dynamo of energy, and has become the face of this movement to reunify over 100,000 of her relatives, neighbors, and family members with their relatives in the DPRK. We know that we have over 100,000 American citizens who have relatives there. We know because of the income differential between the DPRK and the USA, there's a tremendous capability in the United States to fund and support this effort. We have established the official channel through the Commission, and we have the registry to make it easy for the first test cases. The difficulty of all these efforts has been to break this loose from the up and down cycle of US-DPRK relations. It is feasible because we did this with the Soviet Union. Originally, when we were dealing with refuseniks. These are Russian-speaking Jews in the Soviet Union. It was always linked to other superpower issues. But eventually, with enough pressure and organization, we broke them loose and started to get a regular flow of human contact and dialogue. That's what should happen here. Things actually got pretty good between the DPRK and the United States in 1997, 98, and 99. And so discussions like this look like they had real promise. I'd like to get back there.
How much time would you say we do have?
We have 10 to 15 years left before just about everybody who has a direct relative would have passed on. 60 years is already too long. This should have been done long ago.
Are we going to keep it or you want to throw back?
Oh, we're going to keep it. He's going to eat it.
Are you going to clean it?
No. This is best. What is, yeah, it's a good size. Hey, this is not bad. This is what, catfish?
Grab him tight. No, that's a bass.
Yeah, this is good size. Usually they're small.
Very proud of her. Very proud of all the work she puts into that. I mean, she really is devoted to trying to somehow get some kind of resolution while a few of these people are still alive. It's been rough seeing the toll it takes on her. You know, it's very emotional, takes a lot out of her. I see her working on the computer all the time and writing speeches, asking me for help with English from time to time. Just year after year going on, and it's so frustrating for her. I don't know how she stays with it, but she does.
She's not feeling well. Last time when I spoke with her, she just didn't want to see anybody. She didn't want to talk about her children anymore. She said that she just wanted to go. She feels that that's the only way she could meet her husband and the children all together. She feels that her kids have been all dead from starvation. But I showed her an article about 98-year-old man who wrote a letter to Congressman Honda, urging him to work on this, our issue. So she said, she read it. He said, is that correct? It says 98. Yes, that's correct. And for him, you're a kid. So she smiled. Then gradually she started, she looked like she was feeling better. And physically she looked a lot healthier. She could do it.
내가 혼자 걸어요.
그렇죠. 네, 오케이.
교회도 가는데.
아, 그러세요?
이거 안 가져가요, 교회.
아, 네, 그거 좋습니다. 자꾸 걸으셔야지. 네, 그러시. 그건 김흥남,
예.
김덕자,
예. 신자.
김신자. 근데 모두 어린이였죠.
우리죠.
모두 그때 할머니 말씀으로는
예.
2살, 5살, 7살 그러시는데 그때
그랬을 거예요. 아마.
네. 희망을
포기 뭐 돈이 없으니까 포기했죠. 돈이 없어서.
돈이 없어서. 그 돈만
예.
만약 돈이 많으셨다면
포기 안 하죠.
어떻게든
찾아보지.
어떻게라도 찾아보시려고. 네.
사람을 내서 저도 찾아볼 수도
아하,
있고.
돈만 많았으면. 그런데요, 네. 그 돈 많은 사람들도 못 찾은 사람들이 많으세요. 그 애들 꿈꾸는 때가 있으세요?
있죠.
있어요.
만날겠죠.
만날 꿈꾸세요.
그럼요. 지금은 근데 꿈에 한 번 갔는데 애들이 없어요.
꿈에 한번 그 옛날 집에 가셨어요?
갔는데 애들이 없어.
네.
애들 어디 갔나니까 산에 갔대요.
산에 갔대요.
갔는데 막 눈이 막 눈이 오는 거야.
네.
그래서 난 눈길을 헤치면서 애들을 부르면서
산으로 가다가 깨셨군요. 힘들죠. 꿈 깨고 나면 밤을 꼬박 새시죠.
지금도 만날 꿈꿔요.
만날 꿈꿔요.
네, 만날 그냥 그거 만날 걷는 거 가요.
만날
한
애들
달에
찾아.
한 달에 한두 번은 가요.
그지 꿈에 한 달에 한 번 무슨 고향에 가시는군요. 애들 찾으러.
Because Canada has relations with North Korea, and therefore contacts between North Korea and Canada are easier, some people will try the pro-North Korean organizations in Canada to broker a meeting for with their divided families. People who don't go that route may go to China, and there are all sorts of brokers in China who will gladly offer to put you in touch with your relatives. I have heard of cases where people paid $90,000. I have known personally of a case where someone paid $40,000. But as a rule, divided family people are really at a disadvantage because there's this enormous emotional concern on their part, and the brokers usually know this, and in too many cases they're simply ripped off.
예? 청각 김치. 예? 끝? 제가 한 2년 전에 내가 한번 다시 알아보자 그래가지고 가나다에 있는 단체가 있는데 그 단체에 가면 좀 이렇게 찾아볼 수 있는 길이 있을 거라 이렇게 누가 이 얘기해줘 가지고 제가 카나다까지 가서 제가 그 모든 것을 인포메이션을 갖다 드리고 좀 찾아봐 달라고 했지. 2월 달에 그 이북에서 팩스가 날라왔어요. 팩스가 날라왔는데 그 내용이 뭐냐 하면은 우리 동생 둘 원자 원실이가 사망했습니다. 2주 후에 다시 이북에서 팩스가 날라왔다고요. 날라왔는데 거기에 원자 원실이 두 동생이 살아있으니 김정일 생일에 와서 만나보도록 하십시오. 이렇게 저기 팩스가 왔더라고요. 우리 부모님들이 그렇게 그리워하던 딸들이니까 그건 내가 가서 만나줘야지.
When he had left for North Korea to see his sisters, I had asked him to cut hair. He might have been thinking something else, but I was thinking get their hair samples so we could do a DNA test when you get back to make sure that it's them, because let's face it, 57 years, you get a call saying that your sister who you haven't seen for all those years is alive. Well, first the call was that they're dead, but he wanted it to be true. I think we all did.
이것이 평양역입니다. 평양역. 여기가
배 있는데. 배 있잖아요.
이 정도 되는 것 같아. 여기 57년 전에 대동강다리가 꺼내졌을 때 여기서 배를 타고 피난 갔던 장소. 이 미군이 후퇴하면서 대동강다리를 부셔놨어요. 그 대동강다리가 부셔지니까 그 북쪽에 있던 사람들이 남쪽으로 건너올 수 없으니까 뭐 아수라장이 된 거라고요. 거기에 조그만 배들이 있는데 그 배로 이제 사람들을 날르고 그랬는데 그 식구들이 전부 다 나와 봤더니 너무 사람들이 많으니까 같이 행동할 수는 없고 그래서 우선 저는 그때 아주 그 약바른 어린이였으니까 나 혼자 그 배를 탔습니다. 배를 타고 대동강을 건너가 가지고 아무리 기다려도 이게 식구들이 안 나오는 거라고요. 요새는 그 매시라고는 없죠?
없어요. 아니, 작은 배가 있습니다.
있어요?
예, 우리는 매승이라고 하고 쪽배.
쪽배.
쪽배 뭐.
거기 한 4명밖에 못 하지.
네, 그렇죠.
그래. 여기서 다 헤어졌다고 식구들이. 예? 내가 먼저 배에 타고 저기 건너갔다고. 그러니까 아버지가 뱃사공 보고 내 아들 일로 다시 데려오던가 나를 저기서 보내달라. 그래가지고 아버지하고 우리 큰형하고 둘이서 타고 또 건너와서 나를 만나가지고 셋이서 먼저 피난 가고 그리고 할아버지하고 어머니하고 그 다른 형제들은 다시 집으로 다 들어갔다가 다시 나올 때 그 딸들이 그 할머니가 너희들은 집에 있으라 그래가지고 거기서 해준 거라고. 그래서
쪽배 있잖아.
예.
그래서 대답해야 되는 거.
저쪽에 옛날에 이거 전부 다 모래사장이었던. 그 안주에 그 4층짜리 호텔이 큰 거 있는데 그 안에 이제 그 동생들하고 식구들이 전부 다 있다고 해가지고 들어가는데 그 저쪽에서 사람들이 확 몰려오면서 오빠 그러는데 얼굴이 보여야지. 근데 막 나를 껴안고 막 그냥 우는 거라고요. 처음엔 만나기 전에 정말 이게 우리 동생일까 여러 가지 그 의심스럽게 생각했고 이거 어떻게 하면 정말 우리 동생이라는 걸 알 수 있을까? 바로 동생이 정말 우리 동생이 맞아요. 왜냐하면 동생의 그 모습, 이 얘기하는 거 모든 것이 어머니하고 똑같더라고. 그리고 거기서 3일간 같이 지내면서 여러 가지 이 얘기하고 이 얘기 스토리 뭐 할머니 이 얘기, 뭐 고모 이 얘기 이런 것들이 전부 다 이제 나오는데 내가 아는 사실을 얘기한단 말이에요. 그래서 참 3일 동안 걔네들하고 같이 잘 지냈어요.
오빠와 기쁨의 상봉을 하고 이렇게 헤어지자니 눈물이 앞으로 가게 됩니다. 언제나 그리웠던 오빠야 꿈결에도 보고 싶던 오빠야 우리 형제 찾기 위해 눈물 흘린 오빠야 오빠야 사랑하는 오빠야 언제나 어디서나 잊지 못할 오빠야 언제나 그리웠던 오빠야 꿈결에도 보고 싶던 오빠야 우리 형제 찾기 위해 눈물 흘린 오빠야 오빠야 사랑하는 오빠야 언제나 어디서나 잊지 못할 오빠야.
너희들이 이제 머리카락을 잘라주면은 내가 부모님 산소에 가가지고 그 산소에 심어 놓을 테니까 너희들 머리카락을 잘라라. 그랬더니 자기네들이 다 잘라가지고 봉지에다 이어가지고 날 주더라고요.
So that's what he did. He came home. He took the hairs samples, and he came here, and he buried it here with them. There's so many sad parts about this that really can't be mended. I mean, there's the physical aspect of they're always going to be there, and they're in the late stages of their lives right now, so that's never going to change. I mean, they're never going to be able to be that like physically be together like that family.
그거 누르지 마라. 그냥 나온다. 아까 저기 안 됐으니까
다 안 됐어. 안 됐어. 아까 울 때문에 안 됐단 말이야.
다시 울어.
아까 너무 울어서 안 했단 말이야. 자,
잘 있어.
앉지 말라요. 내년에 왔어요.
자, 이젠 웃으라요.
이제 건강하게 더 지내세요.
네.
몸도 건강히 살고 내가 또 가서 형님들한테 가서 안부 전해.
울지 말라 엄마 자꾸.
저 어머니 아버님 잘 보살피고
네.
이모 잘 보살피고.
네, 알겠습니다.
오케이. 그리고 뭐라고 그랬어 내가?
약속은 내놓는 지키겠습니다.
뭘 무슨 약속이야?
담배는 끊으라는 거.
술은?
술은 조금 먹으라는 거.
됐어.
어머니 아버지 얘가 좀 짜증나는 이야기해주세요. 형님한테 가서 좀 말해요.
알겠어. 잘 들었어. 건강하게.
오빠 이제부터 우리 생활을 봤으니까 하나 걱정하지 말고 그저 오빠나 건강해서 오래오래 앉아 계시라요. 큰 오빠 더 늙기 전에 한번 오시라.
내가 여기서 부르는 노래가 이게 전파를 타고 저 북녘 내 누나에게 이게 들리면 얼마나 좋은가. 누나 보고 싶어요. 내가 지금 여기 있는데 누나는 지금 어떻게 됐나요? 얼만큼 늙었습니까? 얼만큼 늙었을까? 이렇게 비참하게 늙었을까? 곱게 늙었을까? 곱게 늙을 리는 없어. 고통 가운데 있었으니까. 근데 그게 이제 늘 보고 싶다. 오늘이 안 되면 내일 안 되면 다음날, 금년 아니면 내년 이루어질 수 있기를 바랍니다. 만약에 누가 지금 멀리 갔는데 소식이 없다. 우리는 즉각 그 소식을 알기 위해서 얼마나 애를 씁니까? 만약에 오늘 같이 있었다가 어디 나갔는데 안 들어온단 말이야. 그러면 폴리스에 얘기해가지고 내 형제 누가 어디 나갔는데 지금 찾을 길이 없는데 좀 찾게 해달라고 이렇게 우리가 잠시 동안에도 그런 어려움이 있는데 하물며 우리가 이 오랜 세월 동안 내 형제 자매를 그 생사를 알지 못한 것에 대해서는 이 이상 인류의 비극이 더 이상 없다 이 말이지. 그러니까 우리는 그 일을 위해서 우리가 생명을 다할 때까지 이 일을 추진해야 돼요. 기필코 해야 됩니다.
when my nephew Sanyap was in North Korea, Ung-hee told Sanyap, my father tried very hard to get on magazine articles and a lot of publications to let us know in South that he was in North Korea. My father realized he had a long, difficult road ahead of him to reunite with his family. At the age of 54, he started running marathons. Later, he became well known as an athlete, educator, and an inspirational speaker. They called him Chalima Harabaji. Chalima is a legendary horse which runs long distances. Harabaji means grandpa. At Prime Minister Kim Il-sung's request, they made a movie about him, about his life. It was entitled Lee Sang-mun, the 60-year-old youth. My father thought he could beat time as long as he could run. But it wasn't so. He wanted to beat death, as he has done so many obstacles in his life. But in the end, like so many millions of divided family members, he yielded to death.
날것같이 들어오시는 저 준비찬 모습을 보십시오. 일찍이 수상님께서 60 청춘 90 반갑이라고 하신 말씀대로 노인님은 저렇듯이 먼 옛날에 잃어버렸던 청춘을 우리의 제도하에서 도로 찾으셨습니다. 아버지! 삶에 대한 뜨거운 정열과 긍정으로 하여 발도 땅에 닿는 줄을 모르신 노인님은 지게를 져도 비닐만 치는 시간이 아까워 노상 달리셨습니다. 마야으로 천리마의 기상 더 높이 모든 사람들이 들끓는 우리나라.
I'm proud of myself. Either I have achieved it or not, it's another matter. But I've tried, and I'm trying. I'm trying hard to get these elderly people to know what happened to their family members, to get them reunited, if possible, before they pass away. If I achieve this, that will be the proudest moment of my life.